Korean philosophy focused on a totality of worldview, the emotional content of Shamanism, and the unpredictable, and some aspects of Neo-Confucianism were integrated into it. Traditional Korean thought has been influenced by a number of religious and philosophical thought systems over the years. As the main influences on life in Korea, often Korean shamanism, Buddhism, and Confucianism movements have shaped Korean life and thought. Buddhism. See main articles. Korean Buddhism. Korean Buddhist temples. Korean Buddhist thinkers refined ideas originally introduced from China into a distinct form. The Three Kingdoms of Korea introduced Buddhism to Japan, from where it was popularized in the West. Korean Buddhism consists mostly of the Seon lineage, which is derivative of the Chen Buddhism of China and precursor to Zen Buddhism known in the West through Japan. Buddhist temples can be found in most parts of Korea and many are considered national treasures. Confucianism. See main article. Korean Confucianism. One of the most substantial influences in Korean intellectual history was the introduction of Confucian thought as part of the cultural exchange from China. Today, the legacy of Confucianism remains a fundamental part of Korean society, shaping the moral system, the way of life, social relations between old and young, and high culture, and even survived the modernization of the legal system. Schools of thought in the Joseon period. This dynasty arose out of the military dictatorships and chaos of the preceding era. Transition in this era was from Buddhism to a soldierly approach to Neo-Confucianism. Much work was done, especially on commentaries, and the Chuhsi school represented indeed the golden age of Korean religious philosophy. Metaphysical research at this time investigated the theological relations between principle and material, vital force, and between as well the four beginnings, and the seven feelings, with the division of the Joseon Confucianists into two leading schools, one on force, and one on principles. The philosopher Hwadan moved to integrate I and Ki and spoke of great harmony. In the 4-7 debate with Ki Daesung, Toja, while being still dualistic, broke away from Chuhsi by espousing the reciprocal emanation of I and Ki. With the 4, Ki follows I when I becomes immanent. With the 7, when Ki becomes immanent, I rides Ki. Though he was critical of Toja's idea that Ki follows I as being dualistic, Ulgok nevertheless embraced his notion that I rides Ki. Only Ki is immanent and I moves its emanation. I and Ki are neither two things nor one thing, as evidenced by wondrous fusion. For Ulgok, original nature and physical nature coalesce into one human nature. Toja and Ulgok, whose thoughts culminated in an Irenic fusionism, constituted the crowning phase of East Asian Neo-Confucianism by exhibiting dialectical dexterity in articulating the concepts of I and Ki, left unclarified by the Chinese. Toja also developed the Neo-Confucianist concept of single-mindedness, which was a manifestation of his unequivocal humanism, as shown by his total rejection of the mandate of heaven, which still had a hold on the Chinese, including Chuhsi. Toja's Ki-young synthesized the primeval Korean sense of supreme efforts cum earnest devotion with the Confucianist notion of holding fast to mind. He advocated self-efforts for creating a meaningful life. In particular, his concept of single-mindedness had a lasting influence on the Japanese Neo-Confucianists of the Tokugawa period. Every major Korean Neo-Confucianist shared Toja's preoccupation with single-mindedness, which signaled new stress on praxis in the development of Korean Neo-Confucianism. The fusion of the metaphysical and the physical is better brought about through action than speculation, important as theory might be. That was the point of Ulgok's integration of sincerity with single-mindedness. In this respect, Korean Neo-Confucianism made a break with the Chengchu school of Chinese Neo-Confucianism, which was overly speculative. Western philosophy in Korea from 1890 to 1945. Those who were sent to be educated in Japan returned with limited knowledge of Western philosophy as a whole, although the German educational influence in Japan led to the beginning of interest in German idealists in Korea through indirect knowledge. With the exception of Marx, Hegel, and the dialecticians, the strong influence of Low Church Christianity, through missionary schools, led to practical American YMCA-style philosophy entering into Korea from the 1890s onwards. The discussion of Korean Christianity and Korean Christian philosophy is complicated with many divisions, and discussed in articles elsewhere. Philosophy in Korea was divided, by Western school, according to a kind of pragmatic mix of varied progressive libertarian beliefs in the South with highly variable changes from rigid authoritarianism to softer and easier, more pragmatic approaches from the 1990s onwards. North Korean post-1945 philosophy. In the Republican period, post-1945, Marxism-Leninism in the North was built on the Confucian Yangban scholar warriors of earlier times, if perhaps taken to absolutist extremes. The main influence in North Korea has been since 1996, the notion of the Red Banner spirit. This system of belief encourages the North Korean people to build a Kangsong Taeguk, a fortress state, based on self-reliance and absolute loyalty to the leader. This philosophy was created by the three generals of Mount Parekchu, referring to former North Korean leader Kim Jong-il, his father Kim Il-sung and his natural mother Kim Jong-suk. Again, little is known of philosophical publications on this subject, but it appears to have replaced Marxism with a homegrown nationalistic ideology. List of philosophers. Buddhist philosophers: Sungnang, Wontriuk, Wonhyo, Yuzang, Ishan, Jinul. Neo-Confucian philosophers: Zhang Dujun, Seojiong Dok, Yeonjaeok, Josik, Yi Huang, Yi Ai, Zhang Zhedu, Zhang Yakyong, Kim Zheng Hui, Joseon period. These are listed by their most commonly used pen name, followed by their birth name. Yuan Zhang Ian Guang, Hagok Zheng Zhedu, Udam Zheng Sihan, Sambong Zheng Dujun, Disan Zheng Yagyong, Namdang Han Wan Jin, Daman Hong Tai Yong, Nosa Gi Zheng Jin, Gobong Gi Dae Sung, Haseo Kim In Hu, Naewol Dang Kim Cseup, Yang Chon Guan Jian, Yonim Bak Ji Wan, Soya Bak She Dang, Hawadam Seo Jiong Dok, Ugi Seong Han, Uam Song Si Yol, Hanju Yi Jin Sang, Hawaseo Yi Hang No, Toja Yi Hwang, Yulgok Yi I, Seong Ho Yiik, Ban Gaya Yu Hyong Wan, Bak Ho Yun Hyu,